Nathan Clark stared out the viewport as the diplomatic shuttle approached the massive space station. The headquarters of the Galactic Council glittered against the backdrop of stars, its spiral arms stretching for miles in every direction. Hundreds of ships from dozens of civilizations docked along its outer ring. Nathan had seen impressive structures during his military career, but nothing like this. "Nervous?" Dr. Olivia Wright asked, looking up from her datapad. Nathan adjusted his collar. The formal diplomatic suit felt strange after years in combat armor. "No, just taking it in." Olivia frowned. "Remember, you're not a soldier anymore. Earth needs a diplomat, not a warrior." If only she knew, Nathan thought. The government hadn't told Olivia about his real background or about the neural implants hidden beneath his skin. As far as she knew, Nathan was just a cultural specialist, with military experience, perfect for making first contact. "Approaching Docking Bay 17, announced the pilot. "Council representatives are waiting to greet you." Nathan took a deep breath, centering himself. He had killed 32 people during the Mars insurrection. He had led teams into battle against impossible odds. But this, representing all of humanity to 46 different alien species, this terrified him. The shuttle docked with a gentle thud. Nathan stood and straightened his tie. "Ready?" Olivia asked. "As I'll ever be." The airlock cycled open, revealing a reception committee of 5 aliens. At the center stood a tall, blue-skinned humanoid with 4 arms and no visible mouth. Beside it waited something that looked like a giant praying mantis, a floating sphere of pulsing light, and 2 identical reptilian beings with long, curved necks. "Welcome to Harmony Station, human representative," said the blue being, its voice coming from a small device on its chest. "I am First Greeter Zill. We are pleased by your safe arrival." Nathan stepped forward, bowing exactly as he had practiced. "On behalf of Earth and all humanity, I thank the Galactic Council for this invitation." The mantis-like creature clicked its mandibles. Such primitive biology. Hard to believe they achieved faster than light travel. Nathan pretended not to hear, though his enhanced senses had picked up every word. The neural augmentations that made him Special Forces' deadliest operative also gave him heightened hearing. "Your quarters have been prepared," said Zill. "The formal introduction to the council begins tomorrow. Tonight, there is a small reception for new representatives." As they walked through the station's grand corridors, Nathan cataloged everything: security cameras, guard positions, air ducts, potential choke points, old habits from his military days. The neural implants in his brain processed and stored every detail automatically. Aliens of all shapes and sizes moved through the station. Some floated, others slithered. Some had too many limbs, others had none at all. Evolutionary paths Nathan could barely comprehend. "The council has existed for over 12,000 years, Olivia whispered. "Earth is the newest member world in over a century." Nathan nodded, noting how some aliens watched them pass with obvious curiosity, while others showed what he recognized as contempt regardless of their biology. They reached an opulent suite. The doors slid open to reveal rooms designed for human comfort. "Rest," said Zill. "Acclimate. The reception begins in 4 hours." The alien delegation departed. Once alone, Nathan immediately began searching for surveillance devices. He found 3, standard procedure. He left them in place, removing them would only alert whoever was watching. Olivia unpacked diplomatic materials. "This is historic, Nathan. Humanity's future depends on making a good impression." Nathan walked to the window, gazing at the stars and the hundreds of ships representing civilizations he'd never imagined. "I know," he said quietly. In his reflection, he saw not the diplomat in a fine suit, but the soldier they called the Pale Rider, the man whose mind had been the first successfully merged with military neural tech, the perfect weapon, disguised as the perfect diplomat. Earth was counting on his diplomatic skills, but Nathan suspected they might need his other talents before this was over. The reception hall buzzed with alien voices. Nathan stood near the Yam entrance, sipping a clear liquid that tasted like mint and oranges. His enhanced senses detected hundreds of conversations in languages his translator couldn't process. "Try not to look so stiff," Olivia whispered. "You're representing humanity." Not guarding it, Nathan forced a smile. Old habits. A chime rang through the hall and the aliens fell silent. A massive doorway opened at the far end. Through it walked the most impressive alien Nathan had seen yet. A 12-foot-tall avian creature with brilliant gold and purple feathers. Crown-like structure of metal and glowing crystals circled its head. "Council Speaker Krexazar," Olivia whispered. "The most powerful political figure in known space." The avian being spread its wings wide. "We welcome all to this gathering of civilizations," it said, its voice melodic yet commanding. "Tonight we especially recognize Earth's first official representative, Nathan Clark." All eyes turned to Nathan. His neural implants registered the spike in attention as a potential threat, sending a small surge of adrenaline through his system. He pushed the feeling down. "A great honor," Nathan said with a bow. Krexar studied him with eyes that glowed like amber. "We have observed your species for some time. Your rapid development is unusual." "Humans adapt quickly," Nathan replied. "Indeed." The speaker's head tilted. "Perhaps too quickly for your own good." Before Nathan could respond, Krexazar moved on to greet other diplomats. The implied threat hung in the air. "That could have gone better," Olivia muttered. "He doesn't trust us," Nathan said. "Few here do. Humanity achieved in decades what took other species centuries." As they moved through the crowd, Nathan noticed the aliens separated into distinct social groups. Power blocks, he realized. Just like Earth politics, but with tentacles and exoskeletons. A slim human woman with auburn hair approached them. Nathan's implants immediately flagged her gait. Military training, carefully disguised. "Mr. Clark," she said with a practiced smile. "Lila Reeves, Earth Observer Corps. I've been stationed here for 3 years." Olivia brightened. "Ms. Reeves, your reports were invaluable to our preparation." Nathan shook her hand, noting the calluses that didn't match her diplomatic cover story. "Pleasure to meet someone from home." Lila's smile remained, but her eyes delivered a warning. "May I borrow our new diplomat for a moment, Dr. Wright?" Station protocol questions. She led Nathan to a quiet alcove beneath a floating sculpture. Once alone, her demeanor changed completely. "You're not what I expected," she said quietly. "Neither are you," Nathan replied. "Observer Corps doesn't exist." Lila's eyes narrowed. "Smart. Central Intelligence drafted me 3 years ago. I've been embedded here gathering information." "About? The council isn't what it pretends to be." She glanced around. "Something's wrong here. Your appointment has caused unusual activity among the 3 major powers." Nathan remained still, letting his implants record every word. "What kind of activity?" "Secret meetings, encrypted communications, military vessels moving into position near Earth sector." Lila leaned closer. "They're afraid of us, Nathan. Not cautious. Afraid." "Why tell me this?" "Because I think they're planning something. Your reception today wasn't diplomatic procedure. It was an assessment." She nodded toward a group of crystalline beings. "The Alturians have dominated council. Politics for 2,000 years. They don't welcome competition." Nathan studied the aliens Lila indicated. His implants analyzed their posture, marking them as hostile. "What should I know that's not in the briefing files? The council claims to operate on principles of equality and cooperation. The reality is exploitation and control. New species are meant to provide resources, not join as equals." A tall insectoid alien approached them. Lila straightened immediately. "Ambassador Clark," the alien chittered. "I am Representative Zex of the Vox Imperium. We are most interested in learning about Earth's unique biology." The way the alien said biology made Nathan's combat instincts flare. Something predatory lurked behind those compound eyes. "I look forward to discussing it," Nathan replied, smoothly. As the alien moved away, Lila whispered, "Be careful." The council meeting tomorrow isn't just a formality. They're deciding whether humanity is an asset or a threat to be eliminated. 2 weeks passed. Nathan stood by the window in his quarters, watching alien ships drift past the station. His diplomatic mission so far had been a series of carefully staged meetings. Each day, he felt the noose tightening. The door chimed. Nathan didn't turn. "Enter." Olivia walked in, looking tired. "The Marishi Concordance canceled our trade discussion again, 3rd time this week." "They're stalling," Nathan said. "But why? We've done everything by the book." Nathan turned from the window. "Because they're afraid." He walked to a small table and pressed a hidden button on his watch. A field of static filled the room, blocking the surveillance devices he'd found. "We need to talk." Olivia's eyes widened. "What are you doing?" "Creating privacy." Nathan sat down. "I found more bugs last night. They're watching us constantly. That's standard diplomatic procedure." "Is this?" Nathan held up a small dart he'd found embedded in his pillow. "Genetic sampler. Someone tried to collect my DNA while I slept." Olivia took the dart with shaking hands. "This is a violation of, diplomatic protocol." "It's more than that. It's preparation." Nathan leaned forward. "I've met with Lila 7 times now. She's shown me evidence that the Council has been systematically exploiting newly discovered civilizations." "That can't be true." "It is. They find new species, restrict their expansion, drain their resources, and steal their technology." Nathan's face hardened. "And they're planning to do the same to Earth." A knock interrupted them. Nathan quickly disabled the static field and moved to the door. Outside stood a tall reptilian alien with copper-colored scales and yellow eyes. "Ambassador Clark," the alien said with a small bow. "I am Tiskanar, of the Saurian Compact. Might we speak?" Nathan hesitated, then nodded. "Come in." The reptilian entered, tongue flicking out to taste the air. "Your privacy field was clever, but produces a distinct energy signature." A small smile revealed pointed teeth. "Do not worry. I am not here to report you." "Then why are you here?" Nathan asked. "Because 200 years ago my people were where yours are now." Skanar's eyes narrowed. "New to the Council, full of hope, unaware of the trap." Olivia stood. "What trap?" "The Council's true purpose is not unity, but control." Skanar pulled out a small device and activated it. A hologram appeared showing a star map. "These were Saurian colonies before contact with the Council, and these," many of the dots turned red, "are the ones we lost to administrative redistribution." Nathan studied the map. "They took your worlds?" "Legally. Through treaties my ancestors didn't fully understand." The reptilian's tail twitched with anger. "The same will happen to Earth unless you are more careful than we were." "Why help us?" Olivia asked. "Because there is a growing coalition of species tired of Council domination. We need allies." Tikanar turned to Nathan. "Especially allies with humanity's unique capabilities." Nathan kept his face neutral. "I'm just a diplomat." "No." Tignar's tongue flicked out again. "Your body chemistry changes when threatened. Your reflexes exceed normal human parameters. I have observed you, Nathan Clark. You are something more." Before Nathan could respond, his personal communicator buzzed. A message from Lila. "Emergency. Meet me at Observation Deck 7. Now." "I need to go," Nathan said. Tiskanar nodded. "Consider what I've said." "And this?" The reptilian handed him a small data chip. "The true history of Council expansion. Show your leaders." After the alien left, Olivia grabbed Nathan's arm. "What's happening? What did he mean about your reflexes?" "I can't explain now." Nathan tucked the chip into his pocket. "I need to meet Lila. I'm coming with you." "No. Stay here. If anyone asks, tell them I'm preparing for tomorrow's session." Nathan moved quickly through the station corridors, his senses on high alert. Something big was happening. His implants detected elevated security presence, triple the normal patrols. When he reached the observation deck, it was empty except for Lila. Her face was pale, her eyes wide with fear. "They know," she whispered as he approached. "They know what you really are." Nathan's muscles tensed. "What do you mean?" "The Alturians accessed your military records." Lila's voice was barely a whisper. "Not the public ones, the classified ones." "Impossible. Those records don't exist anymore." "They do somewhere." Lila glanced around nervously. "They know about Project Thanatos. They know what you were designed to do." Nathan's mind raced. Project Thanatos had been Earth's most secret military program, soldiers enhanced with neural technology to create the perfect warriors. Nathan had been the first successful subject. How did they? A loud boom cut him off. The entire station shook. Emergency lights flashed red. "What was that?" Lila asked. Nathan's enhanced hearing picked up distant shouting. Explosion. Council chamber. The station's communication system crackled to life. "Security alert. All diplomats return to quarters. This is not a drill." "We need to go," Nathan said, grabbing Lila's arm. They hurried toward the exit, but the door slid open before they reached it. 3 figures entered, aliens with gray skin and black reflective eyes. Each carried a weapon. "Human representative," one said, its voice flat. "You will come with us." Nathan recognized them as Marishi, one of the 3 dominant council species. He stepped forward, positioning himself between them and Lila. "There's been an emergency. I need to return to my quarters." The lead Marishi raised its weapon. "The emergency is why we are here. You are required for questioning." Nathan's implants shifted to combat mode, flooding his system with heightened awareness. He could see the micro-movements of the aliens, trigger fingers, could hear the subtle hum of their weapons charging. "Who authorized this?" he asked, buying time. "The Security Council. Move now." Nathan sensed the lie. His training told him these weren't official security forces. They were assassins. "I'll need to contact my government first," he said, taking a small step backward. The lead Marishi fired without warning. A stun bolt shot toward Nathan's chest. To a normal human, the attack would have been too fast to dodge. But Nathan wasn't normal. His neural implants processed the threat at superhuman speed. He twisted sideways, the bolt missing him by inches. The assassins hesitated, surprised by his reflexes. That moment was all Nathan needed. He launched forward, moving faster than any human should. Before the lead assassin could fire again, Nathan knocked its weapon aside and struck its throat with precise force. The second assassin fired. Nathan dropped to the floor, sweeping its legs. As it fell, he grabbed its weapon and fired at the third attacker. In less than 5 seconds, 2 assassins lay unconscious. The third was disarmed and backed against the wall. "Who sent you?" Nathan demanded. The alien hissed. "Death to human expansion." It bit down hard on something in its mouth and immediately began convulsing. "Suicide capsule," Lila said, horrified. Nathan checked the other 2 assassins. They had done the same. All 3 were dead. Lila stared at Nathan, her eyes wide. "How did you move like that? No human can move that fast." Before he could answer, the door opened again. A security team rushed in, led by a muscular human man. "Nathan Clark? I'm Kevin Durant, station security." He surveyed the dead aliens. "What happened here?" "They attacked us," Lila said quickly. "They were after Ambassador Clark." Durant's eyes narrowed as he studied the scene. "3 armed Marishi and you 2 are unharmed?" His hand moved to his own weapon. "That's not possible." "I got lucky," Nathan said. "No one gets that lucky." Durant gestured to his team. "Take them both into custody, separate cells." As security officers surrounded them, Lila whispered, "The explosion was a distraction. They're framing you for something." Nathan didn't resist as they were led away. His mind was processing the implications. If the council knew about Project Thanatos, they knew what he was capable of. They knew what humanity was capable of, and they were afraid enough to try to kill him. The cell was small but comfortable. Nathan sat on the edge of the bed, his back straight, eyes closed. To anyone watching the security feed, he appeared calm. Inside, his neural implants were running combat simulations, calculating escape routes, and monitoring his vital signs. The door slid open. Olivia rushed in, followed by a tall blue alien in council security uniform. "Nathan, are you hurt?" She looked him over anxiously. "I'm fine." Nathan stood. "What's happening outside?" "Chaos." Olivia's voice trembled. "The explosion damaged the council chamber during a closed session. 3 representatives are dead, including the Alturian Prime Speaker." The security alien stepped forward. "You have 10 minutes, Dr. Wright. Then the prisoner must prepare for questioning." After the alien left, Olivia moved closer. "What really happened, Nathan? They're saying you killed those Marishi guards." "They weren't guards, they were assassins." Nathan lowered his voice. "Someone's trying to frame me. The explosion, the attack, it's all connected. The Alturian representative is demanding your execution for crimes against the council." Olivia looked scared. "They've called an emergency session to vote on whether to hand you over to Earth authorities or try you under council law." Nathan's face remained neutral, but his mind was processing this new information. "Where's Lila?" Being questioned. "They think she's your accomplice." A knock at the door. Their time was up. "Find Tiskanar," Nathan whispered quickly. "Tell him what's happened, he'll help you." As Olivia was escorted out, Nathan returned to his meditative position. He needed to conserve energy. Whatever came next would require all his enhanced abilities. Thousands of miles away on Earth, Admiral Gregory Holt stood before 5 stern-faced members of the Earth Security Council. The emergency meeting had been called the moment news of the Council Station explosion reached Earth. "Explain this situation, Admiral," demanded Councilor Patel. "Why is our diplomat being accused of murder?" Holt's weathered face showed no emotion. "Because someone discovered who he really is." "You assured us his cover was perfect," said Councilor Vasquez. "That no one could access the Thanatos files." "Someone did." Holt activated a display showing the station. "Our intelligence suggests the Alturians have been monitoring our military communications for months. They likely know Nathan was part of Project Thanatos." "The first super soldier," whispered Councilor Chen. "The prototype." Holt nodded. "Codename, Pale Rider." Nathan's neural enhancements were more extensive than any soldier since. His combat processing speed is 20 times faster than a normal human. His reflexes, strength, tactical analysis, all enhanced beyond normal limits. "And we sent him as a diplomat?" Councilor Garcia looked horrified. "We sent our best," Holt said firmly. "Someone who could defend himself if things went wrong. And they have." "What happens if he's captured?" asked Councilor Washington. "If the council extracts information about his enhancements?" Holt's expression darkened. "Then they get the blueprint for creating their own super soldiers. And humanity loses its one advantage. Can he escape? If anyone can, it's Nathan." Holt studied the station schematic. "But first, we need to understand why they're framing him. This isn't just about killing one enhanced human. It's about discrediting Earth," realized Washington. "Creating a reason to sanction us or worse." "Exactly." Holt straightened. "I request permission to deploy the stealth frigate USS Nemesis to the edge of council space. If extraction becomes necessary." "Denied," interrupted Patel. "That would confirm our hostile intent. For now, we play this diplomatically." Holt's jaw tightened. "With respect, sir, diplomatic options may run out fast." "Then pray your super soldier is as good as you claim." Patel's eyes were cold. "Because right now he's the only card we have to play." Back in his cell, Nathan opened his eyes as the door slid open again. Chief Security Officer Durant entered with 2 armed guards. "Time for your hearing, Ambassador." Durant's voice dripped with sarcasm. "The full council is waiting to decide your fate." Nathan stood slowly, allowing the guards to place restraints on his wrists. The metal cuffs were heavy, designed for beings much stronger than normal humans. "These seem excessive," Nathan commented. Durant leaned close. "I saw what you did to those Marishi. I don't know what you are, but You're no diplomat. Nathan met his gaze calmly. Everyone wears masks, Officer Durant. Some are just more obvious than others. As they led him from the cell, Nathan's implant silently calculated that the restraints would take him exactly 2.3 seconds to break if necessary. The council chamber had been hastily repaired. Scorch marks still darkened one wall. Emergency. Force fields shimmered where elegant glass panels once stood. Nathan was led to a small platform in the center of the room, surrounded on all sides by alien representatives. Speaker Krexazar's feathers were ruffled in obvious agitation. Ambassador Nathan Clark of Earth, you stand accused of murder and sabotage against the Galactic Council. How do you respond? Nathan stood tall, his eyes scanning the chamber. His neural implants identified and classified each alien present, noting their postures, heat signatures, and stress indicators. Many were afraid, some were angry. A few, including Tiskanar, showed signs of confusion. I am innocent, Nathan said clearly. I was targeted by assassins. I defended myself. An Alturian representative floated forward, its crystalline body glittering under the chamber lights. We have evidence of your attack. Security recordings show you killing 3 Marishi peacekeepers without provocation. Show the complete recording, Nathan demanded. Not just selected parts. The Alturian made a dismissive gesture. The relevant portions have been shared with all council members. Convenient, Nathan said. What about the recording of the explosion? Or the communications? Between the assassins before they attacked me. Murmurs spread through the chamber. Nathan detected increased agitation among the 3 dominant species, the Alturians, the Vox Imperium, and the Marishi Concordants. Krexazar raised a winged arm. Silence. This is not a human court. You have no right to demand evidence. Then, this isn't justice, Nathan replied. It's a show trial. It is council procedure, hissed the Alturian. And the council has already voted. You will be held responsible for these deaths. Nathan's muscles tensed slightly. His implants registered elevated threat levels. And my punishment? Your neural technology will be extracted for study, the Alturian said coldly. Your enhanced body will be examined. What remains will be returned to Earth as a warning. Gasps echoed around the chamber. Several representatives stood in protest. Tskanar stepped forward. This violates our most basic laws. No species can be subjected to forced technological extraction. I demand a formal vote. The Marishi representative chittered loudly. The vote was taken in emergency session. The decision is final. Nathan watched the political battle unfold. His enhanced hearing caught whispered conversations between representatives. Many were uncomfortable with the proceedings but too afraid to challenge the 3 dominant powers. I invoke the right of testimony, Nathan said suddenly. The chamber fell silent. Even Krexazar looked surprised. That right hasn't been claimed in 700 years, the speaker said. But it exists in council law, Nathan insisted. Any accused may present evidence in their defense before final judgment. Tskanar nodded eagerly. He is correct. The right cannot be denied. Krexazar's feathers flattened against his body. Very well, you have 6 hours to prepare your testimony. Guards returned the prisoner to his cell. As Nathan was led away, he caught Skanar's eye. The reptilian gave a small nod. The message was clear. Allies were working on his behalf. Back in his cell, Nathan sat motionless, appearing defeated to any observer. Inside, his mind raced. His enhanced brain processed everything he'd learned, looking for patterns, weaknesses, opportunities. The door slid open. Lila was pushed inside, looking disheveled but unharmed. 2 minutes, the guard said before leaving them alone. Lila rushed to Nathan. They're going to dissect you, she whispered. Tskanar has gathered evidence proving the assassination plot, but the council leadership is blocking him. I know, Nathan said calmly. They want my neural technology. We need to escape, Lila urged. I've contacted Earth. They're preparing options, but it will take time. Nathan shook his head. No. Running confirms their accusations. We need to expose them. How? They control everything here. A slight smile touched Nathan's lips. Not everything. The station's central data core can't be accessed remotely, but it contains all unedited security footage. Lila's eyes widened. You can't seriously plan to break into the most secure location on the station. Nathan looked at his restraints, then back to her. When they come for me tonight, be ready. I'm done playing diplomat. What are you going to do? Show them who I really am, Nathan said quietly, and why they should have left Earth alone. Night cycle on the station. The corridors dimmed to simulate darkness. 2 guards approached Nathan's cell, weapons ready. Time to move, human, said the first guard, a bulky reptilian species with armored skin. New security protocols. You're being transferred to a higher containment level. Nathan stood slowly, hands still bound by the heavy restraints. Where's Officer Durant? Not your concern, said the second guard, a tall insectoid. Move. Nathan's implants analyzed their uniforms, noting small inconsistencies. These weren't regular security officers. As they led him from the cell, he caught a glimpse of the guard station. The normal officer lay slumped over his console. They walked through empty corridors, taking service passages instead of main routes. Nathan counted their steps, memorizing the path. His enhanced brain calculated they were heading toward the lower levels, not the detention center. This isn't the way to security, Nathan observed. The reptilian guard jabbed him with his weapon. Shut up. Nathan's suspicions were confirmed. These weren't guards transferring him. They were taking him somewhere to be quietly eliminated. Or worse, to have his neural technology extracted without the public trial. They reached a maintenance elevator. As the doors closed, Nathan made his move. His muscles tensed as his implants pumped combat drugs into his system. Time seemed to slow as his perception speed increased. The restraints that had been designed to hold beings much stronger than normal humans stood no chance against his enhanced strength. With a sharp twist, he broke the locking mechanism. Before either guard could react, Nathan struck. One precise blow to the reptilian's throat. A sweep of the legs followed by an elbow strike to the insectoid's central nerve cluster. Both collapsed, unconscious but alive. Nathan grabbed their weapons and security passes. He checked the elevator controls. Level 47 central data storage was restricted, but the guard's pass would grant him access. As the elevator descended, Nathan contacted Lila through the communication device she had slipped him during their meeting. I'm free. Moving to the objective. Security is scrambling. Lila's voice came back. They found your empty cell. You have maybe 15 minutes before full lockdown. Enough time. The elevator stopped at level 47. Nathan stepped out into a dimly lit corridor, lined with humming server banks. His enhanced vision adjusted instantly to the darkness. At the end of the corridor stood a sealed door marked with alien symbols, the central data core. 2 guards stood watch. Nathan didn't hesitate. He moved at full speed, crossing the distance in seconds. The guards barely had time to reach for their weapons before Nathan neutralized them with precise strikes. Using the security pass, he opened the door and entered the core, a vast chamber filled with glowing data columns. Nathan found the main terminal and plugged in the data chip Tiskanar had given him. It contained a virus designed to bypass security. Within seconds, he had access to the unaltered security feeds. He found what he needed. Footage of the Marishi assassins receiving orders from an Alturian High Counselor, footage of the explosive device being planted by Vox Imperium agents, evidence of the conspiracy. Nathan copied everything to the chip. As he worked, alarms began blaring throughout the station. Nathan! Lila's voice was urgent. They've locked down all elevators. Security teams are converging on your position. I have what we need. Is Tiskanar in position? Yes. Council chamber as planned. Nathan smiled grimly. Then it's time for my testimony. He left the data core and moved to a maintenance shaft. According to the station schematics he'd memorized, it would lead directly to the level above the council chamber. As he climbed, Nathan's enhanced hearing picked up the sounds of search parties. Dozens of armed guards hunting for one human. They would find him, but not before he was ready. When he reached the upper level, Nathan paused at a storage locker. Inside, as Lila had promised, was a small package. He opened it to find his diplomatic suit, freshly pressed. Nathan changed quickly. For what came next, appearances mattered. When the council saw him again, they wouldn't see a prisoner. They would see Earth's diplomat. And then they would see what he truly was. The emergency council session was in full swing. Representatives argued loudly about the escaped human. Security forces reported their failure to locate him. The three dominant species, Alturians, Vox Imperium, and Marishi, demanded immediate action. Speaker Krexazar struggled to maintain order. The human will be found. All ships are locked down. He cannot escape the station. The main doors to the chamber burst open. Every head turned. Every voice fell silent. Nathan Clark stood in the doorway, dressed in his formal diplomatic suit, not a wrinkle to be seen. He straightened his tie with slow, deliberate movements. "Apologies for my dramatic entrance," he said calmly. "But I believe I have a testimony to deliver." Guards rushed toward him, weapons drawn. Krexazar raised a wing. "Stop. Let him speak, then arrest him." Nathan walked to the center of the chamber, showing no fear. Olivia and Lila watched from a side entrance, their faces tense. Tsikanar stood near a control panel, ready. "The Galactic Council presents itself as a beacon of cooperation and peace," Nathan began. "But I have evidence that proves otherwise." The Alturian representative floated forward. "This is absurd. The human is a murderer and a spy." "Am I?" Nathan held up the data chip. "This contains unaltered security footage from the night of the explosion." He nodded to Tsikanar, who inserted the chip into the chamber's projection system. Instantly, the room filled with holograms. Clear images showed Marishi assassins receiving orders from an Alturian counselor. Another showed Vox agents planting explosives. Gasps and shouts erupted from the smaller council species. The three dominant representatives moved to protest, but Nathan continued. "For centuries, you've exploited new civilizations, stealing their resources and technology. You plan to do the same to Earth." Nathan's voice carried throughout the chamber. "When you realized humans might resist, you decided to eliminate our representative and blame us for violence." The Alturian's crystalline body flashed with angry colors. "This proves nothing. The human clearly falsified these recordings." "The data signatures are authentic," Tsikanar called out. "I've verified them myself." The Vox Imperium representative chittered angrily. "This human is too dangerous to be allowed to speak. Guards, seize him now." 6 heavily armed guards moved toward Nathan, his body tensed, ready. This was the moment everything would change. The first guard reached for him. Nathan moved like liquid flowing past the alien's grasp. The second guard fired a stun weapon. Nathan was no longer there when the beam arrived. The chamber watched in shock as one human evaded and disabled 6 elite guards in seconds. Nathan never struck a killing blow. He merely demonstrated what he was capable of. When the last guard fell, Nathan straightened his tie again and addressed the chamber. "I am Nathan Clark, Earth's official diplomat. I came here in peace." His eyes scanned the room. "But I was also Project Thanatos prototype, the first human enhanced with neural technology." The chamber erupted in chaos. Many representatives backed away in fear. "You wanted to study my enhancements, to steal our technology?" Nathan's voice cut through the noise. "This was your only warning. Humanity comes as equals or not at all." Krexazar's massive wings spread wide. "You threaten the council?" "I offer truth," Nathan replied. "Earth wants peaceful relations, but we will not be exploited." He turned to address all representatives. "The evidence is clear. The current leadership has betrayed the council's founding principles. You have a choice: continue under their corruption or create something better." One by one, representatives from smaller species stood in support. Tsikanar, then others. Soon nearly half the chamber had risen. The Alturian representative's voice shook with rage. "This means war." "No," Nathan said firmly. "This means change." In the days that followed, the Council underwent its greatest reformation in thousands of years. The three dominant species lost their special authority. New leadership was elected. Earth was welcomed as a full member. When Nathan returned to Earth, Admiral Holt met him at the spaceport. "Quite a diplomatic disaster you caused," Holt said with a slight smile. Nathan adjusted his tie one last time. "Sometimes diplomacy requires strength." "And sometimes," Holt replied, looking at the stars, "death wears a very nice suit."